Magic 87.6. Morning, Andrew, on the radio, and Matthew Dickerson. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Last time we were chatting for the year, so I'll miss you over the Christmas break, Andrew.
Oh, Matt, don't, because I can feel the. Can you feel the sincerity in my emotions here?
I was trying to, but I couldn't quite get it there.
Yeah, I love your work too, there, Matt. All right, I love this time of the year because it means that you get some really special lists out, and Google have announced their most Googled terms of 2020.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty disappointed actually, Andrew. Number one, we have such a fascination with the US. Why do we care about what's happening in the US? Number one Google term was the US election. That wasn't even going all year. Believe it or not, that was more popular than coronavirus at number two. Fires near me at number three, obviously related to what was happening more at the beginning of the year. Coronavirus Victoria at number four. So coronavirus got a couple of mentions. And number five, of course, the incredibly important one was toilet paper.
Of course. Yeah. We all need to know that. What do you need to Google toilet paper for? Availability, I understand.
I was intrigued by that. I mean, do you Google where to find it? Do you Google the toughness, the thickness of toilet paper? Do you Google the price? I'm not sure. Do you Google how to make it? Because maybe some people were stuck at home and couldn't go out and get toilet paper, so they had to make their own. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I thought it was interesting, Matt, that the top 10 Australian public figures and Celeste Barber got beaten out for the top spot.
By Danny Laidley. Really, again, it's quite interesting, some of the ones in there. Gladys Berejiklian at number three, George Pell at number four. Jumped down to number six, Pete Evans. Number eight, Peter Dutton. It's a real mix there, actually, of people from different backgrounds. Some politicians in there, some celebrities. Ben Cousins at number 10. I really found that surprising, because I thought we were done and dusted with Ben Cousins. He was obviously the biggest name in AFL for a number of years, then the biggest name in the drug trade for a number of years. But I thought we were over him, but still people are fascinated with Ben Cousins. But I suppose that's a bit of AFL. People are so fascinated with anything to do with AFL.
Yeah, sorry, I was just Googling Danny Laidley while you were just talking there.
That was AFL again. Danny Laidley was an AFL coach and then got convicted of stalking or some terrible thing there. So number one and number 10, AFL. But there is this fascination. Obviously, Victorians spent a lot more time in front of a computer than anyone else around Australia, because AFL is featuring way too much in some of these searches.
Number one national sport, man. I'll just come out and say that. It's not always about Victorians. I'm a New South Walesman, but I'm a Sydney Swans supporter.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? If you're in Victoria, in Melbourne in particular, you cannot go 5 minutes without someone mentioning the AFL. And that can be in the middle of summer or the middle of winter. It doesn't matter.
I could sit here and debate you right now, because seriously, the AFL and NRL on a Saturday afternoon in Sydney, which one gets the bigger crowd? Sorry, 33,000 people at the Swans. I think that's the bigger crowd.
There's no contest, is there?
No, there's no contest. But it's funny, because the AFL, you would think after having so many searches that it would actually come out as one of the top 10 sports, but the NBA rules the roost.
Again, what are we doing with America here? NBA number one, you're spot on. EPL, English Premier League, number two. State of Origin, 2020, number three, which I found surprising that league was up above AFL. Champions League, IPL, French Open, ATP Cup. It goes all the way down. And finally at number 10, AFL scores. It gets a mention there. So there's a whole range of sports above AFL in when you focus specifically on sport. So interesting that celebrity is number one and number 10, but in sport it only lists at number 10.
Yeah, I know. It's fascinating though. But this term had to come out in one of the number one searches, and in the how-to category, how to make hand sanitizer.
I'd be a bit concerned about someone making their own hand sanitizer at home. Here, rub this on your hands. I just whipped it up at home. It should be all good. I'm not sure it's got quite the scientific process that it would need. But obviously, a lot of these were related to coronavirus. How to make a face mask, number two. How to use Zoom. I bet that was something that no one thought would feature in the top 10 if you went back and looked at the list from last year. So how to use Zoom. Finally, how to get tested for coronavirus, number four. And then bread. So many people making bread at home. Number five was how to make bread.
I love that a staple that is necessary to survival and eating only came in at number 5.
Well, the
I
fact that
swear,
people
Matt, we're doomed as a society if that's the case.
Well, the fact that people were making it themselves, I think most people were still buying it, but there was this whole big movement across the nation where everyone's saying, hey, I've got this old bread maker at home. I pulled it out and started making my own bread. Bread maker sales went through the roof, apparently. So, yeah, how to make bread was number 5.
Flour, water, yeast, isn't it?
And wait.
And well, all right, cool. I've got to Google that. I'll get to it. We've been looking at some gift ideas for that technically minded person, and you've come up with some doozies here. Everyone needs a robotic bartender because we're all at the stage where we just need a freaking drink.
Well,
It's the only way I can put it.
I've tried to find something even better than just cool products. I've tried to find products that I think, this is my big prediction for the future here, Andrew, I think these products are so good that they'll create their own category. Just like, say, the Apple iPhone back 12 years ago created its own category, then I think some of these will create its own category. So there is a device called the DrinkWorks device out at the moment, and I think this is the first of many we'll see in this robotic bartender, because cocktails, I don't know what goes in most cocktails. I've got no idea. You just order at the bar and you get something and it tastes good or it tastes bad. So making your own cocktails is pretty tricky unless you've got your robotic bartender. You basically put in some water, it chills the water for you, it's got a carbonator in case you need to have some bubbles in it as well. And then just like in a coffee maker where you put a pod in, you put a drink cartridge in. It's a dehydrated drink, you press the button, presto, 30 seconds later, you've got your own cocktail that's going to be the same every time. It's going to be perfect every time. And who cares what goes in it? As long as it tastes good, that's fine. So this is one of my big predictions, Andrew, that this will be a whole new category over the next 5 years.
Yeah, I need one of those, Matt, because I'm at the stage where I'm just at the end of the year. I was saying to a mate of mine the other day, I know you shouldn't do this, but I am just at the stage where I just need to sit down with something and just get there. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I know it's all about drinking responsibly and stuff, but sometimes you just need to sit down with a couple and just unwind. But if you need some really good cocktail tips, there is a Facebook page you need to get on, Matt. It is called Tipsy Bartender, and he is phenomenal. I am obsessed with Tipsy Bartender. He uses far too much vodka and stuff, but he is phenomenal.
But I've
Get
still
on
got
the
to
Tipsy
do it.
Bartender.
That's the problem. I look at Tipsy Bartender and I see all the vodka he puts in and I go, well, I've still got to do it. I like the idea of just pressing a button, walking away for 30 seconds, coming back, it's done for me. Isn't this what our world is about?
Look at you. Bloody, I want it now. I want it now. I'm a part of the entitled society. Just give it to me now.
Give it to me now, and I don't want to have to actually work for it.
Yeah. My wife would like the self-cleaning food storage.
Well, there's a few things that are happening in self-cleaning food storage, but this one is called the Wake Cup self-cleaning water bottle. So water bottles, I actually get in a bit of trouble from my wife because when I go push bike riding, I take a water bottle and I use the same water bottle every time. I put clean water in every time. And my wife says, when are you going to clean that? And I go, well, I clean it every day. I put water in it and I drink out of it. What more do I need? But apparently she thinks I should be cleaning it. But this water bottle actually cleans itself. It's got an ultraviolet light in the lid. And when you put that lid on, no water inside, obviously, you empty it out, you put the lid on, activate it, 3 minutes later, it promises to zap 99.99% of the bacteria, all the viruses, all the mold that you might have missed when you cleaned it. So for people that don't want to clean their water bottle like me, what a great solution. You just whack the lid on, come back from a push bike ride, empty it out, put the lid on, press the button, 3 minutes later, you're done.
They know water bottles do get to a stinky stage.
Yeah, well, I don't see it, but again, my wife does, and so she thinks I'm quite disgusting drinking out of those, but this might be the solution. I've subtly suggested this might be a good solution for her to buy me for Christmas, but I haven't seen it under the Christmas tree yet.
Yeah, right. I'm worried at the fact that you're quite comfortable with your own stinky stage. That's kind of worrying.
Surely it's my bacteria, so that should be okay.
Yeah, it should be all right. There you go. You should be immune to most things if you're up to that stage, though.
Yeah, look, I'm old enough now. I've been exposed to most stuff, I reckon.